The date of this video is Saturday, April the 12th, and this is a map of where I'm at. I'm at West Bank Road along the lake, Grand Lake, St. Mary's, and you can see 127 there, and then there's another strip, and this is near the end of the West Bank Road, and here it's about to my drone is coming up next here. That's the video from the drone. There's some people walking away, or maybe even towards us at this time. And I'm going to take off, and I'll be taking some video out across the lake here. This is the first time I've flown my drone over water. So I'm a little scary there. I don't want the drone to get lost in the lake. And so here I'm going to turn it, and it'll be looking a little bit east here, and I'm going out between these two trees. I'll get some altitude here in a little bit and maneuver it over there over the water and look down. You'll be able to see the sun shimmering in the lake from the up above. Didn't get too high here and didn't do a whole lot here, but well, we decided to take a little trip today, and I got some more videos of different locations. It was kind of a fun day to do this. So here I'm out over the lake. There was a lot of birds around, and so it's was fun to get some video here over the lake, over this area. This is a nice little area where people pull off and park and maybe do some fishing and whatnot, but there wasn't anybody fishing right here, so I figured this was a good time to get some video. There I am, way off in the distance, and there I'm parked over there. The truck, the back part of my truck, you can see there's another black truck there. That's not mine. You see the front, but there you can kind of look around and get a good view over the lake. I'm looking back towards the west here. So that's the end of the road there. There's the loop. And there's somebody over there, I think, that has a red jacket on. It looked like they were a dot, but I'm out over the lake. I looked up there, and all of a sudden, hey, I couldn't see the thing. So I brought it back over. It's like how easy that drone is, that little drone, to get lost out there in the sky. But anyway, I flew around here and maneuvered a little bit, and yeah, there's somebody else in a white vehicle moving around there. And in amongst these trees, it's kind of funny. The drone has obstacle avoidance, and it'll sort of steer away, and I hear it beeping at me when I'm getting near the trees and their branches and whatnot. But here I'm looking back east again. I think, yeah, there's a couple ducks in the water there. Just sort of maneuvering around here. Like I said, I'm still feeling kind of new with my drone, and was kind of hesitant to have it out over the water too much, but it's a nice view today. It was a nice clear day, hardly any clouds, some nice sun, and I'll get some altitude here. I think I eventually get to almost 100 feet at some point. And so here, there I decide to look down. You can see the sun shimmering on the top of the water there. And there's the edge of the lake. And so there's some birds out there. You can see them floating in the water, and you see off into the distance across the lake. Whoops, blink. Playing with the the camera here, looking up and looking down. And there's some birds. So I don't know, some of those big winged, long-legged birds that were flying up high here. They were pretty far high. Over there you can see 127. And there I am, way down there. Looked like a little... Oh, no, that may not be me. That's probably my, there I am. That's where I had the bag, the black bag there behind me. But yeah, now I'm bringing it down. Over here in a little bit, I'll try to see in one of these nests up in the tree. But like I said, the obstacle avoidance, which is nice to keep me from running into the tree, keeps my kind of keeps me out of the tree. It doesn't like when I try to move into the tree. Why? It's a nice feature. Even though it looks like I can get closer, it wants to stay pretty far back. So now if you look up here, yeah, there's some birds. Those were big birds. They just look like dots right here. But those were some big birds up there flying around. Those long-legged, almost stork-like birds, whatever they're called, egrets or something. And then I see this couple of these nests in these trees over here, and I say, hey, let me go look at those. I'll get a little altitude here and try to get into that. I call them squirrel nests. It doesn't look like a bird nest, where you see all those sort of branches and leaves. And I'm trying to move in here, but the obstacle avoidance says you're too close. Won't let me get in any closer. I'm trying to find a spot in here where I can get in and look down on that nest. There's not anything to see in there from what I can tell. All I see is maybe a few leaves or there's nothing in there. It won't let me get in there too close. The obstacle avoidance keeps me, says you're getting too close to these branches. When I try to get in, it just kind of pauses and backs away. And I think here, I didn't do a whole lot here. Here's my bag of goodies. And I'm going to take her down for land. Well, here we are a few hours later, heading up towards Defiance in Ohio, and we're along 111, and it turns to the north towards Defiance, and we're along the Auglaize River here. And I'll have a short video that takes me up and goes out over the river a little bit, looks around, there's a bridge there, and I took off from a picnic table. First off, I got to get the camera sort of situated. It got me an error. But got a short video here. I didn't stay too long. So I'm working on getting the drone all ready to go and take off. And this Auglaize River here is really a big river. I couldn't believe how big this river was. Guess I never really, the last few times I was over there, never paid too much attention to how big this river was, but it's a good sized river, and probably because of the rains we've had, there's still a lot of water here in this river. I'm surprised I don't see more boats out, but that's looking to the east right now. And this 111 road takes a turn. I was on it going east, and it takes a turn more towards the north here. And so I'm only up here a couple minutes, but this is a nice view here of this, how big this river is. It's quite a good sized river. Goes up into Defiance, and there's looking back there. I turn up to the north where the river goes, and we'll be heading up that way after I land the drone. In fact, I had the battery in from the previous flight, and I didn't take it out, and even though I turned off the drone, it must drain out a little bit because I only had this drone up for a few minutes, and it says the battery's dangerously low, going back to the home plate here. So it came back down and landed after a few minutes. I guess I wasn't paying attention to how much the drone reported it had battery. I just assumed I should have another 10 minutes, but for whatever reason, then it wasn't up there. Here it's landing already. So it's a quick up and down here at this little spot to get a few pictures. Landing, here we go. Okay, just a few minutes later, the same day here. I'm up in Defiance. I'm off of 111 here, showing you a map. Got a little circle around this place where I was at. Basically, we're in a cemetery, and there were some buildings here, and it's not very far from the Auglaize River, and I just kind of wanted to shoot some video right here. But anyway, here in a little bit, you'll see the video. I'm off on a side road in the cemetery. There's a little circle drive here in front of some buildings that had some nice stained glass. Not sure what the building was. But right down there, down that little slope, along that little bank there, you can see where the water level had been at one time when the water level was higher. So trying to get close into the car here, and the obstacle avoidance works very well. I try to get it up close to show Yvonne the drone flying around here, and I can't get it very close. And the obstacle avoidance works perfectly. Sometimes darn the luck, but it looks awful close here, but when I'm flying it, I think I can get a little bit closer, but obviously it's really good at staying away here. I'll get Yvonne's attention here shortly, and she'll wave at the camera. But right now I'm just kind of recording the audio after the fact, because there's a microphone you can get, and I don't know what I'd be saying right off the bat, but here I'll get her attention, and she's waving at the camera there, and I'm recording this after the fact, so that obstacle avoidance kind of throws you off. As I try to get closer to the window, it doesn't let me get that close. But anyway, let me move around here and I'll fly around. And I had the car running, or the truck running. She couldn't hear the drone outside with the windows all rolled up, and I kind of surprised her. But anyway, there I am. You can see as I try to get closer, the thing will fly over the top of it is what happens. So I just kind of gave up. Flew over here a little bit. So I don't know if this is like a small church or some sort of building they have at the cemetery here. It's got a nice window, and the building's a nice little building. We just kind of saw it from this side, didn't drive around through the cemetery very much. This was more or less this last few pictures or movie clips that I got here. And there's that 111, I think it's called South Clinton here in town. At least on the map it was marked South Clinton, S. Clinton. But I'll fly around over here. Kind of see the difference in color from that green grass to this dirty colored grass there, where obviously it had flooded and discolored the grass there. So I flew out over that a little ways. The water's obviously way down from what it had been probably earlier in the week, just like it was around Pittsburgh when we had standing water for a few days in some of the fields, but that's been long gone. Sort of getting my feeling still for driving or flying this thing. So going over here, there's another building I flew up towards and sort of got up there towards that flag. So, like I said, it's a beautiful, nice day. You can see how blue the sky is. Getting a picture or some video here of the flag flapping in the wind. And I thought it was kind of fun to get some different video here, different locations today, flying around. So, this is just a pretty short one. Not much going on here. We took a drive out. We went up to, decided we'd take a nice little drive today. We was out 5 or 6 hours, and I'd stop and do some of these videos, and we'd drive around and just sort of look at the scenery. And quite a few trees were getting the buds on them, and some of them actually have little blossom blooms on them. So landing here should be ending up here pretty soon, back on the ground. So there's the old truck, and thanks for watching. There I am trying to fly up there again, and the obstacle avoidance says So I'll get some of the music put on here, and you'll have some background music here shortly. Real quick, I took some pictures from downtown. I was on Front Street, and this was right next to the public library there, and this was along the Auglaize River. I just took them with my iPhone. They're not videos, they're just snapshots here of some of the scenery along the downtown area at this little stop there. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day. Goodbye.